Hey, I'm just curious, what do you do with disturbing dreams? We've all had them. Sometimes they come out of nowhere, sometimes they're deeply connected with a rough passage that we've gone through in life. But since first starting with dream recall, I'd never had what I'd call a nightmare. My childhood was littered with them, and I think they were tied to all the surgeries I had due to a ruptured eardrum and having tubes taken in and out over several years. I think there was 8 in total. But I don't want to fill your ears with these tales of nighttime woe or the images they evolved. I don't even really want to hear the descriptions of other people's nightmares because I'm not a therapist after all, although maybe one day. In any case, what does interest me is what you've done to deal with your dreams when they haven't been very nice. Do you just let it go and get on with your day, or do you carry a feeling with you that takes time to subside, or do you tell a loved one or a friend? Ideally, if you're practicing dream recall, particularly magnetic memory method dream recall, you'll write it down. It's part of creating that nighttime portrait I've been telling you about, and it's like creating a graph that lets you see spikes of activity over time. Form, in other words, becomes as important as content when it comes to dream journaling and day journaling for that matter, especially when you hit an earthquake or a volcano or some other quote unquote natural disaster that just happens in life. So you can relive that nasty dream in the safety of paper as you externalize it and you study your nighttime activities as if your dream journal is some sort of seismograph. And over time, with a dedicated dream recall practice, you can bring balance to your nighttime life. And the other thing I would suggest to speed up the process of healing nightmares is to place your disturbing dreams in memory palaces. And, I know that memory palaces are precious things. You almost don't want to get them involved in nightmares. But the fact of the matter is that they can serve as neutral territory. And just as we use memory palaces to enliven the material we want to remember using vibrant colors and intensified action, we can drain our negative dreams of the intensity that terrifies us by placing them in a familiar location we've constructed in our minds. So try this sometime. And when you wake up from an unsettling dream, place as many details as you can remember into one of your memory palaces, or write the dreams down as you normally would to get the fullest possible recording of the dream down on paper, and then transport the dream into a memory palace. And if you're new to magnetic memory dream recall, then writing them down first before doing memory palace work is probably the better option. Either way, once you're in the memory palace with the dream or looking at it from whatever way that you look at dreams that you've placed in your memory palaces, before you do anything else, drain that dream of color until it's black and white. And you may even want to make it like an old scratchy movie in your mind, which will allow you to eliminate and reduce the sound. And this is another powerful strategy for neutralizing a nightmare. For especially bad dreams, you can speed them up and add sound, as in a comedic movie where everything speeds up and everybody sounds like Mickey Mouse, the kind. And so make it so that you have no choice but to laugh at that nasty, scary dream. And, to that younger version of myself who from the ages of 4 to 10 had intense nightmares that caused so much disturbance throughout the day that it could not help but invite new nightmares the next night, I would advise myself to eliminate the color from the dream and then, using the powerful safety of a memory palace, wrap it up like newspaper and throw it out the door like Sigourney Weaver or someone like that ejects the monster in the Alien movie out into space. Some kind of thing like that, whatever appeals to you. I kind of like the idea of Sigourney Weaver throwing a monster out into space as something you could do with a nightmare inside a memory palace. Just eject that sucker. So I'm not saying that this is going to be necessarily easy, and it may take some practice with dream recall depending where you are, and you'll definitely want some familiarity with memory palaces. And so if you're interested, I've got a website called howtorememberyourdreams.com. There's not a whole lot to do there other than to opt in to get the dream worksheets that I have for you and some exercises that you can use to improve your dream recall. And in full disclosure, that will get you onto a mailing list and continue your adventure into dream recall and maybe lucid dreaming. I don't know. It's up to you. So come to howtorememberyourdreams.com and we'll talk to you soon.